How do you guys, as entrepreneurs, do you struggle with self-motivation? Is there anything that you do to, when no one's telling you what to do, and maybe that's changed over the years, do you just get up and do the work, or do you ever wake up and just be like, I don't want to do anything today?
I struggle with that, man. I'll be honest with you. I really struggle with that because I don't consider myself to be a super disciplined person. I have some things I do that people think, wow, that's super disciplined, but I really do struggle with that, and I really admire the folks that are able to do that. Tony Robbins talks about this a lot, where he calls it a muscle, not really a habit, but this habit that you make a decision and you do it. If you're going to jump into that cold pool, you just jump. You don't start arguing with yourselves. Oh, it's cold. Should I jump in? I'm going to jump. No, I'm not going to jump in. You just make the decision. You go. The alarm goes off. You get up. You don't hit the snooze button. You want to get into that cold plunge, right? And it's a muscle that you need to develop. And I haven't figured out how to develop that muscle. I don't even know what exercises I'm supposed to be making. But I would love to be able to have that where I'm like, oh, I got to go to the gym. I don't really want to go to the gym. I would love to not have to argue with myself and just go do it because it's in my calendar and it just has to be done. I struggle a lot with discipline, if I could overcome that, I'd be. Who knows where I'd be?
I think that's one of the hardest things, at least for me as an entrepreneur. And this year is my year. Like one of my quotes of the year is like, I'm not going to negotiate with myself, because if I tell you, hey, we're meeting for dinner at 6 o'clock, I'm going to be there at 6 o'clock. But if I tell myself, hey, I'm waking up at 6 a.m. to go to the gym, my alarm goes off and I'm like, I can hit snooze because it's myself. And at the end of the day, you just aren't respecting yourself. Like I would respect you more than myself. And so this is the year of not negotiating with myself. But I love that. But it also makes me mad that you say that, because I follow you on Instagram.
Oh yeah, and he wakes up at 4 a.m.
And so you're telling me that you struggle with that, and you don't seem to.
Yeah.
Is the secret to success waking up at 4 a.m.?
I don't think so. I tend to do that just because it's the time that I have the most. But I mean, you could, some people are night owls. Some people, I think there's nothing. I have good friends that work from, midnight to 3 a.m. and that's their most productive time. And if that's you, you're obviously not going to get up at 4 a.m. You're going to sleep in till 10. But I don't think it matters. I still get 7-8 hours of sleep every night. I just go to bed really early. But I love getting up early because there's just nothing out there, and you've got all this time, and there's no distractions. And even if there were, there's no expectation that somebody. And so it's like I love that freedom in the mornings. And then my absolute favorite time of the day is just that daybreak. Like when that first light comes out, to me, it's magical.
I think it's really interesting because I also perceive Mauricio as someone who's like really disciplined because he wakes up early. But I think for me, if I'm doing something that I'm really passionate about, then I'm very disciplined, right? Because I'm looking forward to doing it. If I'm working in my business, if I'm thinking strategies, if I'm building business, I'm very disciplined on what I need to do every day, and I'll do even more than what I plan for myself to do. But if it's something like exercising, which is my Achilles heel, I will negotiate with myself all day long because it's just not something that that I really enjoy, right? Yeah. So I'm not as disciplined on things like that.
I struggle with the fitness thing too, and it's like I know what to do. That's the frustrating part. Like I was telling my wife Heidi the other day, it's like, I got up and I'm like, okay, I gotta go work out, and I'm like, shall I go on the treadmill for 45 minutes? Shall I go to the beach? Shall I go lift weights? And I'm like, what do I feel like doing that day? And I'm like, that's not how it works. You gotta come up with a plan. You gotta figure out, this is where I am right now. This is where I want to be. Here's the plan. And again, to this muscle thing, Kobe Bryant talks about this all the time. He had this summer program of lifting weights, and he's like, well, this is where tonight I need to do this. He wrote out the plan, and he said that was it. The contract was signed and delivered. It wasn't a question of whether I was going to do it. It was going to happen because he made the decision. I just don't know, do I work out this? Do I do that? It's like, I know what to do, and it's so frustrating because it's just like, So if you enjoyed this clip and you want to see the entire episode, click here. And if you want to see other videos similar to this, click here.